Hey there, for today's Tech Tuesday, I'll be showing you 4 different ways that you can create farms using Fidelity Total Farm. And I think I've done a decent amount of videos in the past showing different features of Fidelity Total Farm, whether that be targeted social media ads, postcard campaigns, whatever it may be. And it can sometimes be high level, especially for people that might just be seeing the system for the first time. So I wanted to show you from scratch how you can maybe go about creating farms in different ways so you can start implementing those other systems that I've been showing. So the first option for creating a farm is very basic within Fidelity Total Farm, and that's by selecting the Create a Farm tab section up here at the top of the screen. And so I can select Create a Farm here, and this could be for creating a farm that you'll be consistently reaching out to over time, or this can be a one-off farm, maybe for an open house that you're doing this weekend. Maybe you're creating a farm for a buyer client around a particular neighborhood that they're interested in. But overall, what's great about this system is it allows you to create as many farms as you want for free, up to 3,000 contacts. And how I do that, like I said, is I select Create a Farm here. I can put in an address if I know the address of a particular area, or I can just move this map around by clicking the map, holding it down, and using my other finger to move the mouse around. So let's just zoom in to neighborhood. And I've shown this a few times in the past, but for those that haven't seen it, it's pretty similar to maybe something like the MLS when you draw polygon maps. And how you go about creating shapes is by simply clicking to create pivot points within the map that you're drawing. So let's say I just wanted to draw a square over here in the ocean. So basically what I need to do is click and release once to start drawing. And now I have this line that I can basically just move around. I'm not holding anything. Then I can move this button, this line downwards, click again to create another dot there, click again, and then click at the original point that I initially created. And now it'll create that shape for me. So let's say, for example, I wanted to create a farm for this Point Furman neighborhood in San Pedro. So what I can do is just move the map over to it and then start clicking. So I'll start on 26th Street right here. So I'll click once. Now I have that point that came out. Now I'll just move the map, the line downwards, click again, move it over here, click again, and then move to that original point. And now in Total Farm, it'll tell you the number of properties that are in this specific map area, as well as a breakdown versus single family residences and condos. So you can see the turnover rates between the two, the differences, and maybe in this farm, I just want condos in this farm. So I can actually select that here and unselect single family residences, townhomes, other, and now have a farm of just condos, for example. And now that farm is going to be in my account. I can select continue now. Now I can select get count. It'll tell me the total number, 181 homes in this farm. Then I'll send a farm manager. I'll name it Condo Farm Point Furman, for example, and then agree to data use agreement. And now that farm will be placed in my account for me. I have the availability of all the filters, the features that I've talked about quite a bit in the past. So the second option for creating a farm might be in a situation where maybe you're not super familiar with an area. Maybe you just joined an office in a particular market center, and now you want to create a farm and start reaching out to people. But you don't really have a sense of the neighborhoods, how many homes are in different pockets, and what the turnover rates are. So what's nice about Total Farm is they also have another feature to get a general sense of the farms within a particular city. So you can actually select subdivisions right here, and then I can enter in a city. So let's say I'm new to San Pedro. I don't really know the areas, so I can type in San Pedro right here. I can select continue, and now to give you a map breakdown of all the different farm areas, and I can actually click around, get a sense, in this case, of Vista del Oro, the breakdown of single-family residences versus condos, for example. But even better, I can actually select List View right here and get a list breakdown of all the farm areas that exist within San Pedro, as well as a breakdown of single-family residences and condos and the turnover rates for each one. So let's say I can scroll down. Maybe I want to search for an area that has a high turnover rate for single-family residences. And once again, this Point Furman area in San Pedro does, with single-family residences with a count of 770 total, with a turnover rate of 5.84%. So if you're looking at the rest of these, usually they're around 3 to 4%. So maybe this is a little bit higher. Maybe I'll spend my time here. So now I can select create a farm, name it Point Furman, single family residences, or just single family farm, create farm here. And now it's going to populate that farm into my account once again. The third option for creating a farm is actually using another resource called Fidelity Passport and exporting that data to Fidelity Total Farm and importing it into your account. And this might be a situation where maybe you have a very particular demographic that you're going to be going after. Total Farm is good for just general farms over a particular neighborhood. But Fidelity Passport is really good at generating specific niche lists for homeowners. So I can actually select lists here, and there's a full playlist on my channel talking about Fidelity Passport and the functionalities that exist within it. But I can always sit down with you and show you how this works. But how this might work is maybe I have, like I said, a particular demographic group that I want to reach out to. And maybe I want to start reaching out to homeowners that are aged 55 and older in San Pedro. I want to reach out to them about Proposition 19. I want to make sure it's their primary residence. I also want to make sure they have a low assessed property tax value. And maybe I'm also looking for a specific demographic group. I'm actually Mexican myself, so maybe I want to reach out to other Hispanic homeowners in the San Pedro area. I can go ahead and actually do that. So I do that as I navigate to lists here within Fidelity Passport, and I can just basically start building a list within this system. So I can come in here and select city. I'll say San Pedro, and then I'll select add. And now that change will be reflected on this right-hand menu over here. So you'll see that list start to be built for you. And then maybe I go to property. I just want single family residences. So I can select land use property type, and I'll say residential, single family residential. Now I'll select add. Now maybe, like I said, I want to focus in on the property tax info. So I want people with a low property tax assessed value. So maybe I'll set this max property tax assessed value to $300,000. Maybe I'll also look at years in property. So let's go to ownership. We'll say length of residence, and now we'll say 20 plus years of ownership. So now I can make sure that I'm working with people that likely have a lot of equity, have a low assessed property tax value. Now let's move to demographics. So I can now select age and enter in 55 here. So now I want homeowners that are just 55 years or older. Now this is filtered for me here. Lastly, another thing I can do maybe is select ethnicity. So now I'll select ethnicity. I'll select Hispanic, select add. Now I have a count of 504. So I think a decent size for a farm. Now I can actually start to reach out to these people using postcard campaigns, targeted ads, email blasts, whatever it may be, using Fidelity Total Farm. So what I can do now is select next. I can basically purchase this data since this is considered premium data. So it's a one-time purchase of $30. Now I have that farm in perpetuity now within my Total Farm account. But now I just need to export that data. And this is something where I don't expect you to have down as a realtor. I don't expect you to need to do yourself. That's where I kind of come in, being a part of your team, and can sit down with you and tailor these farms to you. But essentially what you're able to do, and what I'm happy to help you with, is export this data already pre-formatted for Fidelity Total Farm. And I can come in here and I essentially can select import down here at the bottom right of the screen. And now I can import that data that I basically just purchased through this Fidelity Passport account. And now, like I said, I have all the functionality baked within Fidelity Total Farm for this specific niche farm. So now I basically have a farm of people that are primed for Prop 19, have a low assessed property tax value, are a demographic group that I want to start reaching out to, and I can go ahead and do that within Total Farm. And the fourth way of creating a farm is by simply asking me. So maybe you have a farm in mind, and what I can do is always connect to our farm department, our customer service department, which is a very robust staff at Fidelity National Title, the company that I work with. And I can let them know the specifications that you want for your farm. I can give them the email associated with your account, and all of a sudden that farm will be populated in here. So I was actually working with a client recently who wanted a farm for all Hispanic homeowners in Palos Verdes. And I basically just reached out to our customer service department. I asked them for that farm data, and then they threw it in my account. So it says CS here, standing for customer service, uploaded into your account. So those are four main ways of creating a farm in Fidelity Total Farm. I think it's a system that allows for a lot of creativity once you understand how it works. But if you obviously want to sit down with me and get more hands-on training and understanding of how the system works, and how once you create a farm, how you can start utilizing that farm in different areas, feel free to let me know. Always happy to sit down with you. And thanks for watching once again.